I have to push something on your end. Okay. Hi, Kori. Thank you so
Hi.
much for joining me.
Of course,
um,
absolutely.
my first guest. So Kori and I know each other from gymnastics. Our kids were in a class together for a while, and we used to chat about DVC all the time.
Yes, I know. A love
So
for Disney. And yeah,
yes, I
yep.
love any time I get a chance to talk about DVC with
I know.
somebody because I don't know many people around here that are
Our
DVC people.
members.
Yeah.
Same here.
So
I know. Mhm.
tell me, how long have you guys been members?
So we are approaching year 9. We were
Oh,
October 2014 is when we bought into it. So yeah, actually almost hitting a decade, which is crazy to think about, especially when you're like, because we like signed the loan and all that. So when you're thinking of paying it off, that seems so far away. But yeah, no, 9 years ago now, and I haven't regretted it at all. We love every second of being DVC members, and it's
I
been
feel like sometimes I feel like it's like the best money I ever spent on my
yeah.
family.
Yes, yes. We would say the same thing. It was, I know sometimes it's hard to say it was an investment, but it was. It's like investing in us, our future trips, and for us, it's totally worth it. We were going to go anyway. And honestly, this is the best way for our family to do it, I would say.
Totally. So,
Mhm.
what made you join? Like, were you going to Disney a lot before you joined, or how did that
Yes.
happen?
So growing up, we always went every other year. I think 1995 was my first trip with my family. So I was a Disney fanatic from that, and grew up watching Disney movies and all that. My husband, he went to Disney, but not like we did. Like as a family, we always stayed on site. We were always at what was Dixie Landings, but now Port Orleans Riverside. Where my husband, he would go, like they would do a trip to Florida and they would just do like a couple days at Disney. So he didn't do it like how we did. So when we started dating, actually it was right after we got engaged. I think I encouraged a Disney trip, like just us. He thought I was nuts because we didn't have kids. um, but I convinced him to do it, and he also fell in love with it. And at the time we had owned a timeshare in the Poconos, but you could exchange into Disney through RCI. And that's what we did that first trip. We stayed at Old Key West and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Every second of Old Key West. It's so tropical. Like, I don't know. It was a good first resort for us to stay at. We really enjoyed it. So we stayed at Old Key West, and then we went back a time again and did the same thing, exchanged in, stayed at Boardwalk. And then we went when I was pregnant with my first. That one we did a 2-bedroom at Kidani Village at Animal Kingdom, which is also phenomenal. We were with my sister-in-law and her family. And because I was pregnant, I couldn't ride everything. So one day at Hollywood Studios, my husband was on Rock and Roller Coaster, and I was just wandering the shops, and one of the DVC guides caught me. I walked over and I said, I'll chat with you, but I already own a timeshare. I'm not interested. But we just chatted some more, and he said that they were selling the Grand Floridian contracts currently, and that pretty much he didn't have to say anything else. Like that was my dream hotel, like ever since being a little kid. I don't know, when you just pull into Magic Kingdom and see that one though, there's just something about that hotel.
I'm
Um,
getting goosebumps like thinking about it.
yeah,
It's so
I love
pretty.
like it is. It's gorgeous. So he mentioned that it was Grand Floridian. I was sold immediately. Like I really did not hear much else. My husband gets off the ride, he's walking towards me, sees who I'm talking to, and he just like is laughing and rolling his eyes because he already knows that a question's coming. But he said, yeah, we'll go to the like the DVC offices, which I think were at Saratoga at the time, Saratoga Springs. So we went and chatted with someone there. He was honestly, my husband was even sold because, especially being pregnant, he knew this was, and we had traveled now 3 times there without kids. So he knew this was something that we were going to do. If we could do it annually, we wanted to. And we saw this was a way that we can make that happen, especially exchanging through RCI was nice, but it wasn't as flexible. Obviously, if you buy direct through Disney, then you have the flexibility of going when it's convenient for you. Where with RCI, it was just kind of like, oh, a week popped up, let's grab it, something like that. But once you have kids, you can't just travel as quickly as we could pre-kids. So Yeah, we did the meeting. We actually had bought 100 points at first, but because we didn't have like our finances in front of us, we needed to wait till we got home. And as soon as we got home, we checked it out and called and modified our contract for 200 points. And it seriously feels like the best decision that we could have made because we get use out of it every year. Again, no regrets. It's just, we love it. We love it.
I know, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
So what do you tend to go like one trip a year? Like, how do you use your contract?
We do now one trip a year. When we had just the one daughter, and even the second, we sometimes could pull off trips twice a year. We would do like an annual pass and try to fit two trips in that annual window.
Fun.
But now just with like activities in school, we pretty much only do one a year. Someday I hope to do more. Someday we always say maybe we'll add on more so we can fit in more trips, but just like the schedule doesn't allow it right now anyway. But if we could, we'd live there. So
yes,
that would be the goal. So yeah, we really just use it for one trip a year. We try to incorporate family too. Again, because being DVC, you have the flexibility of saving up points if you want to, or borrowing from a future year. So we do try to every other year-ish, we try to like bring family members with us also to do kind of like a larger trip too.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm trying to plan a trip like that for the first time next year with my parents. And I'm really excited about it. But I feel like I've got a lot of questions about how you do those trips.
Not the easiest.
So I know that's a lot of planning. I guess so. That's another one of my questions. So since you know you're coming back, like how do you typically plan your trips? Do you do a lot of planning ahead of time? Do you more play it by ear? Like what do you guys usually do? And you have 3 kids now. What are the ages of everybody?
So I have this next trip is in September. So my kids will be 8, 6, and 2, freshly 2. So I still, even with coming back, I still plan a lot of it out. I do though, now that we have kids, understand that things probably aren't going to go to plan, which pre-kids, I mean, I was like to the time stamp of what we were doing, and now it's not so much like that. So I pretty much plan our whole day out for the most part, or at least like list what rides I expect that we should be able to get in, or at least our goal rides. I always do dining reservations still. We love doing that. But we've also been lucky, again, I think because we go often enough, like I know to check the app when I'm there. If there was a reservation I couldn't get or want to modify, I have been able to even get reservations once we're at Disney. But in general, I definitely plan it all out. And part of that, like, that's also fun for me, planning it out. It builds up. Yeah, like adds to the buildup of the trip. And now the kids are getting older too, so they have their input of like certain restaurants they really want to do. And we all pretty much love all the same rides, so that's easy. That's easy for us. But now they're getting a little into the planning too. I mean, they don't sit there and do the spreadsheet like I do, but they definitely add in their own opinions for what they want. So yeah, I'm planning, but I know I need to be flexible because anything can happen, especially when you have young kids. So
I hear you.
Yeah, you just never know.
Do you guys have any like Disney favorite things that you do every trip?
Probably the certain restaurants, I would say, are one. We have like ones that we have to do. We love Rainforest Cafe. I've loved that since I was a kid. We always have to do that one. And now my kids love it also. We tend to eat at the Mexican Pavilion. That just kind of happened. I think with the kids, we've been lucky every time when we get seated right next to the water. So now we're all hooked. We did do it my last trip with my family. There was 11 of us. We were at the water, but it was still a nice experience. So that one, Tony's, we always do Tony's because my favorite Disney movie growing up was always Lady and the Tramp. So that one has been a must do. And my older daughter, she loves animals, so she really likes that one as well. Now we just did sci-fi for our first time the last trip, and that was a huge hit. I thought they might be afraid, so I didn't want to book it when they were super young. And I'm happy we waited, because even my middle one, what was she? She would have been 5 last time we were there. She was a little she thought it was a little dark. She didn't like the darkness so much. And she like remembers that. So when I told her we're doing that again this time, she's like, oh, I just remember it being dark, but my older one is talking her into it and saying, oh, you'll love it. Remember there was a movie and the milkshakes. You'll absolutely love it again. Cause she really did enjoy it. Chef Mickey's, forgot about that. That is we love that one. I don't think I swear, even when their kids are older, I don't know how we'll stop going to Chef Mickey's. We love.
You don't have to stop. You can keep going.
Yes, we're going to have to, I swear. Like we all love that one. And for each of my kids, we go on their first birthday. We do a first birthday trip, and we always do a breakfast at Chef Mickey's for the first birthdays. And we did it with my son in August for his first birthday. And that one, I think we had 9 of us there, and it was amazing. All 9 of us loved it. The food was phenomenal. The characters were so interactive. The kids had so much fun. They were up on their feet dancing like the whole time. They were all very, very excited. So I'd say those restaurants are probably our main go-tos that we do pretty much every time. And then rides, I would say Slinky Dog is always a must do. Like my kids are just getting to the height where they can go on some of the bigger ones. So we haven't done all of the big ones yet, but Slinky Dog, they love. Toy Story Mania, they love. Mickey's Runaway Railway, they love. So obviously Hollywood Studios is a favorite of ours. And then they love, I asked them actually earlier today, just because we were talking Disney, and I said, what else are your favorite rides? And they said they love Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I've never really heard them talk about it that much, but they said that they absolutely have to do that one on our next trip. So I said, okay, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And they love the Buzz Lightyear one, Space Ranger Spin. And then because they're little, we all love Small World. Like that is a must do. Like every trip we have to do Small World. That's another one. It doesn't matter how old they are. And then they love even like the Dumbo and the Aladdin's Magic Carpet, and the Triceratops Spin. Again, I think because we've been going since they were little, so it like already triggers memories, I think, for them, like the older ones. And now that they have a little brother also, they love watching, they like on Triceratops Spin, I remember specifically them like constantly trying to see his face on that, like every time it was going up and down. So those are our, I'd say, must-dos that we have to do pretty much every time.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Do you guys usually like rope drop? Do you go first thing in the morning, or do you sleep in, and do you stay all day long? Do you take breaks? How do you like figure out your day?
So we're crazy. We rope drop, and I should say I'm crazy.
That's not crazy.
Yeah, we're definitely rope drop people. I'm an early riser to begin with, but even on vacation, I feel like I'm so excited. I like can't sleep. So it's kind of easy for me to get up early, but we are always, we're in line before park opening. And now ever since COVID, it's been great because they let you kind of like trickle in a little early for the most part. Like you can't get on rides right away, but you can at least get in the park to kind of help with the line queue, which is awesome. And being DVC, also, you generally have bigger rooms with kitchens, so we can like do breakfast in the room, even if it's just like eat a bagel or something quick before you go out, which to me, I think saves time. So that when we get there, we can just like run right to a ride and no one's like crying that they're starving and haven't eaten since last night and things like that. That to me is huge, to be honest. And I think that helps us get out just in general, it just helps the whole morning. It just makes it a much smoother morning. But yeah, we'll rope drop. We always take a pool break, always. I've been doing that since I was a kid. Also, that's something that we did when I was younger. So we'll do morning at the park. We'll typically have lunch back at the room, especially if we had like leftovers or something. Again, something else we love at TVC, like we'll either do a sit down usually at lunch or at dinner. So, but one of them, usually we have leftovers. So we bring it back to the room. And then we'll eat it the next day, a lot of times for lunch, do the pool, and then everyone's generally refreshed. And then we get ready and go to a park at night. It's usually the same park. We used to park hop, but honestly, we've just started doing the same park in morning and night, and it's been working out great. I don't know that we'll definitely do that this upcoming trip. We haven't decided yet if we're going to park hop or just kind of do what we had always done. Since having kids, to be honest, that's kind of when we stopped hopping and just started doing one park a day. And then middle of the week, usually I try to do like, we'll do a morning at the park and then just like afternoon, just only pool or like eat at the hotel, Disney Springs, something a little more mellow just to kind of let everyone recharge. I feel like we need that. This upcoming trip is the first time we're going to try the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So
Oh,
that
so fun.
yeah, we've never done that before. And like they're begging to do it. I'm dying to do it again. I didn't want them afraid before. Like both of my kids, well, my older one for a long time was afraid of the character. So that was just not an event that I wanted her to be at if she was going to be terrified the entire time. So now that we're past that phase, I feel like we're at a good age for it. But I'm already thinking, I'm like, okay, that maybe I'll switch it up. And then the morning we'll do like pool, relax. Everyone can actually sleep in and just do nothing all day. And then we'll just go to the party at night. That'll be our like down day. I'll do a swap. Again, you got to be flexible.
Yeah.
So
I think
see if I can sleep in.
we went last year to that party, and I think they let you in at like 4 with your ticket.
Oh, perfect. That's
yeah.
even better. Yeah, that's great because again, I probably won't sleep in, but the rest of them will. But yeah, we can only do the pool so long before again everyone's even exhausted from that. So that's good. That's good to know. 4 o'clock is
Gotta
I was thinking
plan your
6.
costumes.
So. Yes. Yeah. Oh, the kids will love that. They'll love that.
So your next trip is September, did you say?
Yes. The third week in September, I believe, is when we're going, which
Awesome.
hopefully won't be crowded. I know it'll be hot, but I'm hoping that because kids are all across the country, freshly back at school, and we said, you know what, we don't care. We're pulling them out week 3 because we don't want to deal with the Disney like heavy crowds. So we're gonna give it a try. I think they'll be okay with school. I mean, they're still young enough where I think we can do that and get away with it. So, yep, third week of September.
That sounds awesome. Do you guys tend to stay at the same, do you have like favorite resorts you stay at a lot, or do you try to hit all of them? Like have you done that?
So the goal is to hit all of them, but we've typically Grand Floridian is my favorite. So we've done that a few times now. And that's where we're staying this upcoming trip. I will say it's not as kid friendly. Like the kids aren't as excited about it. Now my middle daughter is all into like girly and fancy. So she's super excited this time, where my oldest is like, she wishes so bad we were staying at Animal Kingdom. That's definitely their favorite. And where ever since they've become old enough to like be fully aware of their surroundings, that's where we've been staying just because that is their favorite. And you can't beat the view there. I know that, but I don't know. There's just something about Grand Floridian that I just love. I just love being in that atmosphere. I'm not sure what it is. I can't put my finger on it. So that draws me to Grand Floridian. I love it. And I just love the look of it. I think I love the way it looks. But we love Boardwalk. Like we've only stayed there once and it was without kids. That one we're kind of waiting, I think, until they're a little older and they can like go off on their own. I think they'll think it's really cool that they can like wander the boardwalk without mom and dad. Saratoga we love, especially being from Saratoga. We honestly love like Saratoga County for us, but we love that too, just because it obviously reminds you of home. But we like the closeness to Disney Springs. Our last trip, we actually did a night there. And we walked to and from Disney Springs. And that resort I don't think it gets enough credit. We really like it. My parents stayed with us and they loved it. They said next time they go, that's the resort they want to stay at. They're not DVC, so they'll just pay cash. But they said that's their new favorite. It's so big. Like, I don't know. That's a nice one. So the goal is to eventually hit them all. But right now we've kind of been between Grand Floridian mainly and Kanani Village, with some Saratoga sprinkled in there too.
Nice.
But the goal is someday to hit every DVC resort if we can.
Do you think you'll ever go to Aulani?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. That's a trip I'm kind of waiting until the kids are older, especially with the 2-year-old. I can't imagine that would be that
a long
fun.
flight. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can't imagine. But yes, I would love to go there someday. It's funny, my aunt and uncle on their honeymoon, they went to Hawaii and they like did a tour just of the islands in general. And they like went past Alani, and I guess the tour guide said that it's like the most amazing resort in Hawaii, or it's the only 5-star resort on this island or something like that. So I was already sold, but I was like, oh, we have to get there. I hope so. I really hope we can someday. Like I said, it's a long flight, but
It's on my list also at some point.
yeah, that's a goal. Even the other ones though, even I'd love to try the Vero Beach and
Yes.
Hilton Head. Like sometime
Yes.
it's hard because when you can only fit in so many trips a year though, we just naturally go to Disney World, especially with the kids. But as they get
Yep.
older, maybe we'll start branching out.
Yep.
Mm,
That's
love to see it all.
what I think too in my mind.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I
Yeah.
need more points.
Yes, that too. I
Because
know.
you don't want to
Every
give
time.
up on what you really want to do at Disney. And
Right.
yeah.
There's so much. And you can never you could go every year like we do, and there's still stuff you miss. Like you can't fit it all in. Like I know people think that we're crazy for going so often, but really there's so much to do there and see.
Yes.
So much.
No, it's so sad to like leave.
I know it is. Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
have
yes.
to know like the trip is, you can come back. And
Yes. I
what's on
think
your
that
plan for
helps.
your trip that you're planning in September?
So, like I said, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party is definitely, we're doing that for the first time. So we're very excited about that. I think it's Food and Wine Festival again. I think it always is now. I feel like half the year is Food and Wine
Yes.
Festival, but we'll definitely be enjoying that. So I'm happy they have that again. And then we will do every park, probably 2 days at Magic Kingdom and 2 days at Hollywood. Those are our favorites. Honestly, Animal Kingdom, that's usually one we can do. We can often do that just like in the morning and take a later pool break. And then we don't usually go back to that one at night. There is plenty to see there. And maybe it's just because we've been staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge so much. Maybe we kind of got used to the animals all around. I don't know. That one we don't need to spend as much time in though, for whatever reason. But again, as the kids get older and they want to go on bigger rides, that could change a little bit. But so that one's usually, well, that's always just one day, but it's often just a morning. Hollywood always two. Epcot, the kids, they don't love that one as much. So that one's always one also. But that's probably mine and my husband's favorite park because it's hard not to love World Showcase. It's really hard as an adult not to love that one.
I know it.
Yeah, even the rides there though are great too. So someday when we can travel for longer than a week, we'll do a second Epcot day in there too.
Yeah.
It's just so
Will
hard.
you
Even
guys
I
go on
want to. Tron. I know he will. It's hard with the baby. Sometimes, like I know you can do the rider swap. We have done that before. I don't know. Now that I have 3 kids, like my stomach doesn't handle things the way it used to. So I don't know if I'll do it. I know he will though.
Yeah.
He'll try it. He tried the Epcot one. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it.
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardian. Yeah. Yes. He said that was like the most amazing ride he'd ever been on. And I was like, yeah, I had read things about it spinning and all that. I was like, I'm going to sit this one out, but he said that was absolutely amazing. So, and now my older daughter will start trying those things too, now that she's hitting the right height for it. So he won't have to go on those things solo, but I have the younger kids, so I can sit out with them anyway. I don't feel like I'm missing out because I can do things with them. I don't feel like I'm
there's
missing
always
anything.
stuff to do.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, like there's plenty to keep us busy. So I'm not just like sitting watching people ride rides. I don't know. There's plenty to do.
So the way you said maybe you'll add a second Epcot day, do you pretty much have like every time when you go for your week, like so many days at this park, so many days at this park? Do you do the same thing pretty much?
Yeah, I think so. It's always 2 Magic Kingdom days because that's my favorite and the kids' favorite. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dogs barking right now. So always 2 Magic Kingdom days, and now always 2 Hollywood Studios days. Now that we had kids, actually, because they loved Toy Story Land. And like I said, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, they absolutely love that. They went on Tower of Terror this trip. Loved it and hated it at the same time. Like they absolutely loved the thrill of it, but I think the beginning part was a little scary for them, but they still did love it. They're not big enough for Rock and Roller Coaster yet, but even like the Disney Junior and the Frozen show, like we love, I don't know, Hollywood Studios is a good one. I feel like pre-kids though, we only did 1 day of that, and now we need two solid days there. But yeah, that's pretty much what we do. We pretty much do the 2 Magic, 2 Hollywood, and then one at each of the other ones, one at Epcot and one at Animal. We haven't done any water parks yet. I did do them as a kid. My kids can't all swim yet, so I feel like we're a few years from trying those.
Yeah.
Trying those still, and it's hard to give up a park day. That's the other thing.
Yep.
It's really hard.
Do you do the same park, like always your first park, and one that you always do that you end your trip with?
I always end with Magic or Hollywood. But we tend to go back when they had magic hours. We were planning the trip often around that. So I would love to do Magic Kingdom day 1. And I think for like my oldest, for her first birthday, I think that's what we did. We just, cause I needed to, but ever since then we kind of tried to do it based on the hours of the park that day. Yeah, I would say I plan off of that. And I think magic hours are coming back also. I don't think they'll be there for this trip for me, but future trips, I can start planning around that again. I know, I miss that. That was great. Yes, same here. And even what they did the DVC, well, it wasn't just DVC, but the deluxe resort, like after hours, which was nice, but like we don't stay up that late. So for my family, having the morning extra magic hour is huge for us. Even I remember when they first opened all the Star Wars stuff in Hollywood. I think they were doing like park opening at 6 a.m. and we were there. I don't know if I was like first bus, but we were there in the 6 o'clock hour with everybody else. And we had no interest in hitting the Star Wars area, that we were just running to Toy Story and getting those things in. I can't help it. I like being there first thing.
Yep. So you're not probably doing like fireworks at night.
So my oldest is actually she's very sensitive to sound. So that was part of why we weren't doing fireworks, but like my middle one loves fireworks. Grand Floridian is great because you can see them from the resort. You can see Magic Kingdom fireworks. So I'm sure we'll do that. The older they going to start trying it. I think that's the plan this trip. I think I'm going to try to factor in some fireworks. We didn't last time. Last time it was August and really hot and everyone was exhausted. So we didn't do it last time. Nobody could handle it. We were all way too tired.
It's hard to have like both ends of the day be, up early and up late. So
exactly. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I'm an early riser. So the rest of my family is also on vacation. So they don't mind though. Awesome. They really don't. They like getting up and getting into the park. So So yeah, we might try at least a show or two. We'll see. If not, we watch it at Grand Floridian or whoever's awake does.
Yes, that's a good compromise. No, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, I really appreciate that you're my first person I got to talk to about their DVC.
Yes, thank you for asking.
Membership, the way they use it. No, I love chatting about Disney, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I love it too. I'll chat about it anytime.
Oh, thank you. Anything else to add about your trip coming up?
No, I'm just, again, hoping the heat isn't too awful. That was like the one, I hate to complain when I'm in Disney, but we were so hot in August when we went. Oh my gosh, we were all really struggling. Yeah. So as long as that isn't as bad, or maybe even if it's less crowded, that'll make it, I don't know, feel better. Maybe that was part of it because it was just so packed too, but we're really looking forward to like less crowds, hopefully. The heat, whatever, obviously we can't control that, but hopefully less crowds and just trying to, I don't know, enjoy it all with the now 2-year-old too. Like he's going to be able to we love doing the first birthday trips. Obviously he doesn't really understand what's going on, but this trip he will. I think that's what I'm most excited about, is this will be his first trip of like really, really understanding what's happening around him. And like last time at Chef Mickey's, while he was like kind of excited for the characters, he was also hesitant of them and didn't really want them close. Like he wanted to watch them, but I think this time it'll be a lot different. So I think that's like the main thing we're looking forward to. I'd say him experiencing it as a toddler now instead of as like a infant. And his sisters too are going to be so excited for him. I think they're going to see how much they love seeing it through his eyes, even though it's still magical for them. It's going to be even more magical through his eyes this trip. So That's like the
That'll be so nice.
number one, I'd
Yeah.
say. And trying the
Oh, yeah.
Halloween party. We're so excited about that Halloween party. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, that's it.
That'll be great. I can't wait to hear all about it when you come back.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah. We have all good stories to share.
Thank you again.
All right. You're welcome. All right.
Talk
Bye.
to you later. Bye bye.
All right, bye.